Hello and welcome to FPSKivotos. I'm your host Bridge, and let's get started. On this week's episode, we're going to talk about my Kami Oshi VTuber, that being Hiyori Mokami, an independent VTuber. I've been watching her ever since she debuted, and she's been an absolute ray of sunshine in my life to be able to watch and just enjoy. So when I was given the opportunity to do a custom gun for her, I took it and ran with it, and I did a whole bunch of fun little things for her, and I can't wait for you guys all to watch it in this episode. I decided to put her in the Wild Hunt Academy of Art, and we don't really know too much about Wild Hunt still, so I kind of just threw her in there. I felt like that was the best bet, and I put her on the student council as well. As you can see, as always, the artist did a fantastic job at visualizing what I've had in my brain for God knows how long, and you know, it just turned out fantastic. I always love coming to this artist, and I hope you guys really enjoy the way it turned out as well, just to actually have a visualization of, you know, the ideas that I have. And as always, we're going to talk about the similarities and some of the differences, if there's any, as well as showing off some of the firing footage and the really fun skits that I do for all these VTuber ones. As always, we're going to start off with the first gun. Right here, this is a Mosin the Gaunt that is sportrized. For any of you who don't know, sportrized basically means messing up an old rifle, essentially, is kind of what it means. You put like a more modern chassis, essentially, or like modern furniture on an old gun to make it more usable, I guess, for like hunting and stuff like that. I bought this at a gun show a few months back for about $250, but it actually did come with the original stock as well in really, really nice condition. So honestly, for any of you that have watched me use video and I painted her stock, I could totally just take that stock, take it off that Mosin, and put the nicer, newer one on it, and it would be perfectly fine. The only thing that it has on it, it's kind of like not the nicest thing in the world, is the previous owner put in like literally like etched his initials onto the stock itself. But other than that, it's like a really, really nice stock. So I'm really happy that I got that bundled in with this rifle as well. But as always, we're going to start with the color, and we're going to go from the back moving all the way up to the front here. As you can see, I went with this nice, like, I guess it's more like, not really mahogany, but like a nice light brown color. It kind of looks like, you know, original wood, like walnut, I guess. But I was kind of going for more of like a garden vibe with this, because she is a wolf bar, so she's in like, you know, fields, wheat fields and stuff like that. So I kind of want to get that like weedy aesthetic. I don't even, if that even makes any sense at all. But moving on, back here we have the little rubber butt pad here. As you can see right here, this is Hiyori's logo that she has, her basically like her channel logo, and it is a really nice wolf icon, and it actually turned out fantastic. The decal, and as I always say in these videos, the decals are always what make these unique to, you know, whoever they are. Obviously the paint job does that too, but like having that like distinguishable icon for whoever it is just always nice to have. Moving forward just a little bit, we have a painted flower right here, and these are all like little 3D stickers essentially. And they've turned out pretty good, and obviously I've shot it a decent amount, so they have fallen off, so they're not the most like sturdy thing in the world. And as you can see, there's like just, you know, remnants of one of the flowers right here. But like I said, going with the garden aesthetic, it does look pretty good when they actually, you know, sit on there. Moving up just a little bit, I painted this section black to just have a little bit more contrast on having this light brown color just go throughout the entire rifle. As you can see here, I had a little stencil that I used in a nice green color that allow for the flowers to kind of have a place to go. There's only one here. There used to be three, one white, one yellow, and one red, just to have that like more, like I mentioned, contrast of different colors. On the right side here, we have another decaled leaf design here that also had different stickers on there that are gone now. And right here is the little Kau, which is basically her fan base, and the cute little mascot that represents them. Moving forward to the action here. So usually Mosin the Gaunts, or well, at least normally, they usually have a 90-degree bolt. So it will go, when you rack it, it will go all the way up to the top here, come back forward, and flip over to the side. On this variant of it, whoever owned it last, they actually put a rail system up here because usually it's just iron sights and only specific models can have like an optic of some type unless they like jerry rig it like this one here. But they basically added a full rail system here to allow for, you know, optics essentially. And as you can see here, I have a little, the same Seymour red dot that I used on Roro's actually firearm. It actually works fairly well here. And if, you know, during the firing, I was hitting the target fairly well. It's a little bit loose right now, but I'll just have to tighten it, which is not too big of a deal. But as I was mentioning, with having that there, you can't really have the 90-degree bolt anymore. And so they actually jerry-rigged their bolt, the original bolt, to have it be more angled to allow them to, you know, rack it like that. As you can see here, it's off to the side there. So it's a little bit weird, and it kind of, they had to butcher the original one, which is really nice that I actually have the other Mosin. So, you know, I don't have to actually do this with this one. So it's kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is when it comes to sportrized rifles. And for something that was sportrized, honestly, it's pretty smooth and it shoots pretty well. The very first time I went out and shot this, it wasn't the most smoothest action in the world, but after lubing it up and, you know, cleaning things out, it actually is like incredibly smooth, and I'm a really big fan of this action overall. As you can see in the firing footage, I'm usually left-handed shooting on a lot of the things because I'm left-handed, but here I actually shot it with my right hand, and it was actually really fun to shoot this as a righty and actually try to rack the bolt as fast as I possibly could, and it was a really fun time. Moving up just a little bit, we have this little wrap here, kind of, like I said, it's just kind of to have the aesthetic of like wheat, I guess. I don't know. I'm not really sure how to explain it, but it allowed me to, you know, kind of C-clamp it because it actually mitigated the heat a little bit. And as you probably saw, I was straight up like C-clamping this thing because I was using a red dot sight. There's not really much of a reason to hold it in a different way for me personally. And I obviously had gloves on too, so it wasn't too hot to the touch. As for the very last thing, we have the muzzle brake that they put on this. Now, this is not standard, obviously. Whoever owned it last really wanted to put a muzzle brake on it, and my goodness, as you probably have seen in the firing footage at this point, had the gnarliest fireball coming out of this muzzle brake. It is kind of wild, and if you're like standing fairly close to it, at least not like super close to it, but like off to the side, you can feel it. And it's like, it was cold the day that we went shooting, and there was a couple times when I was filming my buddy when he was shooting it, and I could just, it felt nice. It was really warm. It was able to keep me a little bit warmer, which is really nice. But this thing is fucking crazy. Does it really mitigate the recoil that much? I'm not really entirely sure. Those aren't really the most heavily recoiling rifles, especially since they're, you know, decently heavy. The last thing I actually did forget to mention, this chassis is called the ATI Monte Carlo Mosin stock. It was originally on black. And honestly, for the price that I got this rifle, I think it was a kind of a steal, especially getting the original stock that I could put on the other gun too. Like honestly, it shoots really well, and I'm really impressed with that overall, and I'm really happy with just how this rifle turned out as a paint job. If you guys have been enjoying this episode so far, please make sure to make bad puns and throw tomatoes at your Kami whenever she decides to make those bad puns. And make sure to hit the like, comment, and subscribe button and hit the notification bell to know when I upload every single time. Now, I did tease this rifle and I showed it off at one point already to Hiyori, so she knew about that. She didn't know about this flag, but I'll explain that a little bit later. There's one other gun, and this one's more of a surprise. Right here, we have her secondary of choice. This is the Bersa Thunder 9mm. Now, Bersa is a firearms manufacturer that kind of has a little bit of a not so great reputation overall when it comes to quality of their pistols and just their firearms in general. I have the Bersa Thunder 380, which was used for Nagisa's pistol, and it worked okay. The paint didn't really help it all that much, but it did work, and it wasn't the worst shooting pistol in the world. Now, this gun I got at a gun show fairly recently, and I got it for about $180, and it was a very cheap pistol. And honestly, I just kind of like the way it looks. It's not the nicest shooting pistol in the world. I've definitely shot better double action, single action pistols, and that's what this is a double action, single action pistol. So you can do a full trigger pull that has a lot of weight to it to be able to shoot it once, or you can have the hammer cocked back and pull the trigger and have a little bit better of a trigger pull overall. It is fairly mushy still, in single action, but it gets the job done overall. And here, I think you really enjoy the name of this one in particular. Now, this thing felt really inconsistent to shoot for some reason for me. Like I was aiming dead on in the center of the target, and they're not that far away from me, as you probably see in the firing footage. And I'm just whiffing. I'm just missing every single shot. I'm like, man, am I bad? Is this thing bad? I literally like took it apart at one point just to inspect everything, and it looked perfectly fine. Maybe I'm just bad. I don't know. The quality of these pistols can definitely be very hit or miss. So maybe it's this, or maybe it's just me. Honestly, it probably is just me. But other than that, it honestly shoots fairly well. I actually did have to keep the gloves on because it was a little bit snappy on the back part of the grip here, where it just kind of was eating into my hand every single time I was shooting it. So I decided to wear gloves instead. Maybe I'm just a little bitch. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. Because I'm a really big fan with how this actually turned out. So we're going to start with the magazine. This is a standard 10-round magazine that came with it. It can have actually 17-round mags, but when I bought it, it came with this weird 10-round mag, which is, it's all right. It does the job done. And we used a nice copper color on the mag here. I went with a really interesting color scheme. I kind of went for a tempered metal color scheme. And it's a little bit harder to see here because it's kind of chipping off a little bit since I've been shooting it, obviously. But I think it looks great. I went with like a two-tone, which is really nice. I wanted to keep the beef jerky color, which is kind of a meme when it comes to Hiyori. The beef jerky color scheme around. Obviously, I have that on the muzzle of the Mosin, and I have that on the grip here, and I think it looks really nice to contrast all the other colors, especially the copper. And as you can also see, I have her decal on this side of the grip and on the opposite side of the grip, and it actually looks really, really nice to give this one the character and uniqueness that it deserves. As for the other things that I painted copper, we have the mag release, which is actually really easy to switch if you really wanted to have it be a left-handed friendly. The hammer itself is also copper, as well as the slide stop is also this copper color. And my personal favorite part of it is the actual slide itself. As you can see, it fades from a nice silver color into the copper into a blue, like metallic blue color, which has been chipping off, but I'm not too worried about that. At the end of the day, these things, the paint is gonna chip off anyway, especially since I just do spray paint. I'm gonna shoot them, it's gonna chip off. It's not really that big of a deal, but I think it looks really nice, and it's kind of hard to see here, but like just the like transition into like what feels like a tempered metal is just really, really nice, and I'm really, really happy with how it turned out. I did keep the rear sight the standard black color, and the majority of the frame is also its factory color, and I think it just looks really nice. I forgot to mention here, the trigger here is also this copper color, and I decided to make this kind of front plate here this silver color to add a little bit more silver to the overall aesthetic, and I think this thing just turned out fantastic. I can be really hit or miss when it comes to my pistol paint jobs, but I think this one is probably one of my favorite ones thus far. Is it the most accurate pistol in the world? No. But did I do a really good job on the paint job? Hell yeah, I did. Having these two guns together, it's honestly really, really nice, and I'm really proud of myself of how I handle these paint jobs, especially for my Kamiyoshi. And with the overview of the guns out of the way, let's show you guys a little skit we did.
Give me a sit rep. You know you were muted this whole time?
What the cheese? I was muted this entire time? Man, talk about starting from a clean slate.
Now, let's move on to the conclusion and the giveaway, because this one, as I mentioned, started twice in this episode. Hiyori is my Kamiyoshi, and I really want to support her as best I can, especially now that she's an independent VTuber. She's so incredibly talented, and I really hope that if anybody is new watching this, please go check out her channel. I'll put it in the link in the description as well. She is an absolute blast, and as I mentioned, I just really enjoy watching her, and she makes my day better whenever I can catch a stream, especially after work, considering how tiring Amazon delivery driving can be, you know, at times. So with that, we have a really big giveaway this time around. First and foremost, we have patches. As you can see here, I have a custom patch that I made that uses her logo, and we are the 504th Bardic Cavalry Division. And at the little bottom here, we have a little Kau as well. Now, about this patch, I have 13 of these to give away to my lucky winners. If you would like to enter, you can subscribe if you want to. Honestly, you don't really have to, but if you just would like to enter in any way, shape, or form, just go down to the comments section and type in shaking my Hio. And in about a week or two, I'll go through the comments section and pick my lucky winners. I'll try my best to contact you through Discord or Twitter, just so we can get the information so I can give these away to you guys. It's completely free, out of pocket. I just want to give back to each of the community that I do these types of videos for. I'm not gonna do it every single time, but I try my best to. It just kind of depends on when things get finished when it comes to like art and stuff like that, and then I can, send these out to you guys as best I can. Now, one interesting detail about the patch is that you can probably see here, it says 504th Bardic Cavalry Division. So the reason it says 504th is because I was trying to make it her birthday, 514th, June 14th. Yeah, her birthday is in June, but 5 is May, and I've had these for a couple months now, and when I showed them off to Hio the first time, someone else pointed that out. I'm like, wait a minute, June is the 6th month, not the 5th month of the year. So I kind of goobered these, but at the end of the day, they still look really, really good, and I'm really happy with how they turned out. And it's just probably just a little running joke at this point now. Like streamer, like viewer, honestly, in my opinion. We're both goobers. I may also be doing an acrylic stand. I'm not entirely sure yet. I'm recording this at a different time. If I do have those, it do the same thing. I'm probably gonna bundle them all together. I'm not sure if I'm gonna have 13 of them, so it's gonna be kind of like, you might get one, you might get one item, you might get 2 items. It just kind of depends on how many I actually get. But it's the same thing, just, put in Shaking My Hio in the comment section down below, and you're entered to be able to win one of the many prizes that I have here. And there's also one more elephant in the room, or I guess flag in the room. As you can see here, and as you probably saw in the firing footage, this is my Oshi flag for Hio. Obviously, she is my Kami Oshi, and obviously I'm from America, so I decided to dedicate a flag to her. I've seen a lot of people at conventions have these and stuff like that, and honestly, I felt like it was a really good option to actually get one of these for her. And it was really cool because I remember during one particular stream, she actually mentioned about getting herself an Oshi flag, having one of her fans do it, and I was already in the process of getting one ready when she, mentioned that, so it was just kind of confirmation at that point that I was going to do one. And it's a perfect opportunity because I'm going to be going to Off-Kai in 2025, and I'll be representing Hio as best I can there. And Hio, if you actually do go there somehow, obviously you're not in a, corpo anymore at this point, but if you do manage to go, I would love to meet you. That would be a fantastic experience for me, and it's just, I will represent you as best I can whilst I'm there. I'll probably be pretty easy to, pick out in the crowd. But anyway, as I mentioned, I actually have 2 of these flags. So one very special, lucky winner in the contest will also be getting a flag in their bundle. They're actually really not that expensive to buy and make. So I'm honestly just impressed with the quality of them too. It's not, I got it for like 10 bucks, 12 bucks, something like that off of Amazon, and they came in like 2-3 weeks. So it was like, it wasn't too bad, honestly. So if you really want to make one of yourself, you could. But like I mentioned, the same way, Shaking My Hio down in the comment section, and I'll make sure to pick one of you to get your very own Hio flag as well, and help me represent our Oshi. This episode was an absolute blast to make. Actually having another Mosin that I can shoot and just have fun with is pretty neat. I really, really like the Mosin, and I really, really like the ammo it shoots. It's just fun. It's kind of expensive, but it's just a really fun rifle to shoot. I love bolt action rifles. Now, granted, most of them are right-handed, so they're kind of annoying for me particularly, but honestly, even if that's the case, I can still shoot them right-handed, so it's not that big of a deal. And they're just an absolute blast. And this pistol, even though it's not the most accurate thing in the world, it's still really fun to shoot, and I'm just really, really happy with the paint job. I'm just really improving my overall paint jobs with each and every single one of these that I do. And Hio, if you are watching this, you are an absolute, I say this during streams every once in a while, obviously, when I do donos or whatever, but you are an absolute ray of sunshine to me. You make me smile as much as, all the other Kawus and the Mokazaku smile whenever they watch your streams. You're just great. I really, really, really appreciate the content that you make. Your singing is fantastic, and your humor is hit or miss sometimes. I like some of the puns. I don't like them all, but I'm just really grateful that I was able to discover you. I know the last couple months have been really difficult with, the disbandment of Production Kawaii and, going through all that and now becoming an independent VTuber. It's probably a really hard transition, and I remember when your announcement stream, I also almost cried. I'm not that much of a crier, but you almost got me. You almost got me. and I just really want to support you in any way that I possibly can. And if this video helps and support in any type of way, to have somebody come and check out your channel, that is the goal that I really wanted to have at the end of the day. I really, really hope you enjoyed this. I did go pretty all out with, especially the merch. Went pretty all out with all this stuff. So I really do hope you enjoyed it as much as I did making it. It's always a blast to be in stream and, you know, all the antics that we get into. I do really hope one day you are able to become a full-time streamer and full-time content creator, just to, you know, fulfill your dream. And I really hope to see that happen in my lifetime, I guess. I'm not gonna die anytime soon. Well, knock on wood, I hope I don't die anytime soon. But I do believe that you deserve the world here. And I'll be enjoying your content, adoring your singing, throwing tomatoes when you make bad puns, and supporting you throughout the entire thing. Now with all that out of the way, I've been your host, Bridge, and I'll see you guys in the next one.